I am live. Hello, everyone. My name is Jimmy Allen. I am a love and relationship coach. I'm looking in the camera. I wanted to do a really quick one. And yes, you have read the title. And the title is probably a very triggering one. It is called Want to Know the Biggest Mistake That Most Couples and Singles Make When It Comes to Love. And I'm gonna, before I say what it is, I'm gonna say what it is right off the bat. Um, there has been, so I've been on this adventure, really putting myself out there, doing this stream as well. Um, on, I've been finding that in Clubhouse and in conversation, that there are an extreme amount of people who are consistently having these wounded conversations. Wounded conversations do not allow love in your life, and we hold on to them as if it is our shield of armor. It's protecting us from getting hurt again, when in fact it is pushing love away. And when you're in conversation with wounded conversations, you're not allowing love into your life. You're attracting more of what you do not want. Let me say it again. When you're in wounded conversations, even if you're married in a relationship, when you're rehashing old wounds, you're not allowing love into your life. I'm gonna let that sit with you, because there is some obsession with people rehashing their old wounds. Oh, I was hurt again. This so and so, this so and so did this to me again. This is what it was in my last marriage. This is what it was in my previous relationship. My mom told me this. Your parents sometimes inherit, unconsciously pass down wounded conversations to you, and you believe it as the truth. And I'm going to give you an example. Had a client who was on the rocks in a relationship, and his girlfriend didn't trust him at all. He had to call her when he left the house. Well, he had to tell her where he was going, call her when he showed up, call her when he left. He had to tell her every single detail about where he was going. Granted, he did do a mistake in the relationship, but I'm not going to go into that. And I had this moment. I said, I guarantee you, it's her belief about men, and she inherited that belief from somewhere else. And he said, you're right. Her mother had passed down that men are no good. So therefore, in her mind, she didn't trust men. And because this belief, this wounded belief, this wounded conversation was passed down to her from her mother, she went into the relationship not trusting him. So therefore, no matter what he did, no matter how many times he apologized, because of this wounded conversation that she kept alive, the relationship could not survive. And there's some trend for some reason in Clubhouse and on YouTube that these people who call themselves coaches are perpetuating these wounded conversation. Like, for instance, there was a guy who said you should not date single women with kids. And I was just like, why are you doing that? That's a wounded conversation to disencourage men or women to date a man or woman who has a kid. Just because you couldn't handle that, you couldn't be responsible, or you weren't ready for the responsibility of being in a relationship with a person who has a kid, does not mean someone else can. And you're passing down that wounded conversation to someone else for agreement. And therefore, when you agree to their wounded conversation, then therefore that becomes your belief. So most of us are in relationships, are agreeing to wounded conversations and making it our own. No, Do not do that. This is why a coach comes so handy, because it's my job to disrupt that pattern. Why do you believe that belief? And this is what I do with my last client. I said, I want you to start going through each and every relationship, your past relationships. And when you're triggered and some thought comes up, why do you believe that thought? And why is that to be true for you and men or women that you're dating? And can I let that go? What is really true for me? Because majority of the people, the reason why people are single is because of their belief system. It's my job to disrupt that belief system that you are holding on to, that you're not worthy, or I am worthy, but you're not doing worthy things. I am not good enough. You think that you're good enough, but yet you're judging every single person that comes along your way, that they're not worthy of your love. Love is free giving. And I want to give you some examples of some wounded conversations that I was blown away of what people were saying. It's like, people would say, I'm just not good enough at relationships. Not true. You just don't have the skills yet to cultivate a healthy relationship. And when you believe that, you go into it already taking yourself out the game. I'm knocking stuff over here, but forgive me. It's a Thursday night. I'm doing it live. That's it. So when you say, I'm just not good at relationships, you actually are giving up on yourself in the relationship. And you can actually change that belief. Another belief that I hear all the time, I just can't trust anyone. So I'll ask you, when you believe that I just can't trust anyone, it makes you suspicious in every single relationship. And the person that you can't trust, that you're in a relationship with, or when you're dating, they cannot show up at their best selves because of your belief, and you cannot show up as your best self because you're always in the back seat. You're always in the stands. You're not on the court. You're not in the field being fully in the relationship because you can't trust. You can change that. There's a part of you that needs to heal. There's a part of that you need to change your story about, I don't trust men. I don't trust women. I don't trust love. I don't trust marriage. Marriage doesn't work. I had a conversation. I'm going to have a conversation tomorrow in the morning with Kevin Reeves, and we were saying that somebody told him not to get married to the woman that he's been with for almost 20 years. I mean, they're so great together. But if he would listen to them, somebody else's hurt story, and took it as his own, he would not been with the woman he would have been with. He would not have the 3 gorgeous kids that he had. He would not have the relationship that he would have because he took on somebody else's hurt. So I want you to start asking yourself, what are the hurt pains that I am taking on that I inherited with someone else? Why do I believe that's true? Because ideally, it really is not true. And why do I believe that? And is that belief stopping me from being fully with my wife, being fully with my husband, being fully all in? Because we want all in relationships, not half-ass relationships. We want all in relationships. And that is my job as a coach, to really help you be an all in, fully loving, fully expressing yourself. Because I was that person. I inherited these beliefs about what love should be like. What for my parents, and I love my mother. I know she probably will watch this later. I'm going to end this soon, but being single, perpetually being single, is not your death sentence. It's not your sentence. You have every opportunity to evolve. There's just some skills that need to be learned. There's some healing that need to be learned. And you have to be willing to do the work. A lot of people want quick fixes to being in relationships, yet they have not done the inner work to the pain that is looming within them, and they bring it to the relationships. You have every opportunity to evolve in your marriage. And and specifically with men, sometimes we're not having conversations about, well, what do you need to be happy in a relationship? God knows I wasn't. I'm just like going with the flow, like just aimlessly going through the relationships and like, oh, I'll figure it out on the way, no plans. No, 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 no. It took, this beautiful woman said, well, what do you need besides a gorgeous person on your arm in a relationship? What do you need to be happy in a relationship? I had no fucking idea. I had to define it. And not only define it, I had to become it. You have to become the one you want to attract. Even if you're married, if your marriage, your relationship isn't where you want it, you have to become the detective of your own love life. Where am I lacking? Where do I have an expectation of how my partner should show up? Am I that? Am I bringing it to the table? And if I am not, you become that, because it starts with you. You cannot ask or demand something from someone else that you are unwilling to bring to the table. Period. So this is my thing for today. I am here to support you in your relationship so you can find that juicy love life. You can have that juicy marriage. And I'm going to leave a link in the comments below, and so that you can book your call with me, to have a non-pressure call with me about you evolving your love life. And leave a comment in the box. Say, hell yeah, I'm ready. Hell yeah, I'm ready to evolve. Like, you speak to me. Like, leave a comment below. What spoke to you? Because I'm here to support you, my kings and my queens, because you deserve that fucking awesome, juicy love life. This is Jimmy Allen, and I am happy to be your love and relationship coach.